Now let's travel from Washington to West Asia. Can you imagine spending weeks preparing for your US visa interview? You collect your documents, you book your appointment, you arrange your travel, and then suddenly you receive a message saying that your appointment has been cancelled. Well, that's exactly what happened to many applicants in the United Arab Emirates. Ladies and gentlemen, the US Embassy in Abu Dhabi and the US Consulate in Dubai temporarily cancelled all the consular appointments through July 15th, citing wider regional security conditions. Applicants were instructed not to visit the embassy or consulate, and they were told that they would receive new appointment details directly. Well, emergency assistance for the US citizens that continues through designated channels. In the meantime, officials have not linked the whole move to one specific incident. Instead, they pointed to the broader security environment in West Asia. Routine visa processing also remains suspended until further notice, while emergency service continue to operate under a adjust staffing arrangement. Now, this particular decision, it may sound administrative, but it tells us a much bigger story. Diplomatic missions are often among the first institutions to adjust the operations when security conditions become uncertain. Embassies constantly assess risks, they monitor local developments, and when necessary, they do shift staffing level or maybe public services to protect both the employees and the visitors. Now, for thousands of people waiting for visas, this particular thing means uncertainty. Business travelers, students, families, professionals, they may all have to wait longer before their applications move forward. It is another reminder that geopolitical tension often affect ordinary people first. Sometimes through cancelled flights, sometimes through delayed visas, sometimes through travel advisories. Well, the impact of international politics, that's not always seen on the battlefield. Often, it is felt by people standing in the queue, waiting for a document or hoping to begin a new chapter in their lives. When you think of United States Supreme Court, you could probably imagine powerful judges. In fact, historic legal decision and debates over the Constitution. But today, the conversation, it is not about Constitution, it is about security. Ladies and gentlemen, America's Supreme Court judges, they are asking Congress for a larger budget, with a significant part of the request focused on improving security for judges and their family. According to judiciary budget request, more funding would go towards protecting legal courthouses and expanding security for Supreme Court judges at their homes and while traveling. Now, you know why? Because officials say that threats against judges are increasing. Think about the responsibility these judges carry. Their decision can change immigration policy, abortion right, gun law, business regulation, and even presidential power. Every major ruling affects millions of people. But in today's deeply divided political environment, those decisions can also trigger anger, criticism, and sometimes even threats. And that is why security for them has become a growing concern. Now, this whole request, it also comes at a very politically sensitive and significant time. Justice Amy Coney Barrett and Justice Elena Kagan, they are expected to appear before Congress to discuss the court's budget, making it the first such appearance by Supreme Court judges in several years. But the story, it reminds us of something important here. Democracy is not only about elections, it is also about protecting the institutions that make the democracy work. Well, courts cannot function independently if judges fear their own safety. Now, whether people agree or they disagree with the judgment, the rule of law depends on judges being able to make decisions and without any intimidation. Now, the larger question is, how do you protect the people who are responsible for regulation of the Constitution? And how do you balance public criticism with personal security? Those particular questions are becoming increasingly important. But yes, security concerns are no longer limited to Washington. Thousands of kilometers away, another American institution has taken an unusual step because of rising regional tension.